Hey, good morning. It's the Fort Worth Playboy, and welcome to the Fort Worth Playboy question of the day. And what do we do here? Well, on this show, we answer commonly asked questions and questions that you guys have sent in, questions that have come through the DMs, anything that you've emailed, any comments on Twitter or on YouTube. We try to address these most commonly asked questions because anytime you work with the general public, anytime you work with like large groups of people, you see the same challenges arising over and over and over. Like when we do weight loss and fitness, which I've done for like 30, 40 years now, they're always like, the exercise is actually easy. It's the nutrition that's challenging. And you see that statement over and over and over. And the same thing happens in game, pickup, relationships, and sex. The challenges people have, while not like exactly identical every time, tend to be the same. The same challenges tend to arise over time. And one of the most common questions I have, and it's even from like guys that are pretty savvy over time. Sometimes they'll get stuck on a girl, but the question is, how many times should I ask a girl out? And again, a lot of times this is the answer to the question that is as common, which is, I don't know if this girl likes me. And I always say, well, you need to just ask her out. That's always the answer. Like if you're not sure about a girl's feelings towards you and you haven't actually established any type of relationship or you haven't asked her out, ask her out. That will give you your answer to how she feels about you. It goes directly to, you're going to get an answer. You only have to ask a girl out one time because you're going to get one of three answers. You're going to get yes, or what we call hell yes. She'll say, yeah, sure, that's great. You say, hey, I'm going to go to this place on Thursday night, 7:00. There's a great band. You want to go with me? She's coming with you. You're the good time. You're always going to be having fun. Fun is where you're at. And if she's there, great. And if she's not, that's fine too. But it's something she can come along with you if she would like to join you. She'll say, yes, that's great. I'll be there. Or she can say, no, I have to wash my hamster. And so that is a flat no. That is the end of the conversation. You go, well, okay, have a great day. And then you move on. And then you go ask her, get her girlfriend out, or you ask her sister out, or you can ask her mother out. It doesn't matter. Again, as soon as a girl takes herself out of your pool of people that are potential girlfriends or hookups, you just set her to the side and she's not able to come back in unless she like jumps in and says, gets in your way. But again, a no without an offer to an alternative is a flat no, and she should be ignored from that point on. The third possibility, and this is the one that confuses everybody, is she'll say, no, I can't Thursday night. But you know what? Next week I can, on another night. And so you offer another night, or you say, great, what night are you available next week? And then you just make it work. When she gives you an alternative, that's a conditional yes. Conditional meaning she'd love to go. She can't make it to the first offer, but she would love to go out with you at some point. Guys get number 2 and number 3 confused sometimes. They'll think number 2, the flat no, I have to wash my hamster, or I have to wash my hair, or I have to help my mom, is a flat no. And it is. But what isn't a flat no, and guys get all kinds of confusion on this, is, hey, I'd love to, but I can't, but I can. They'll give you an alternative. Women that are motivated to go out with you will give you an alternative. We always say this, they'll make it easy for you. It may not be as easy as we would like, which is where like they show up and get naked and you never take them anywhere. That's easy. But they'll make it easier. They'll make it easy enough and they'll give you an alternative. The reason that number two always kind of comes with a qualifier, and Bunny's good about explaining this. The reason girls will seem to be confusing because they'll go, hey, I can't, I really want to, but, I have to study for my test. And then no alternative is because all women have some type of story, some horror story of a guy taking rejection bad. So we've kind of earned this over time because maybe when you were a younger guy or, you didn't have as much experience, you took a rejection badly or, you were frustrated at that moment. But all women have an experience where they told a guy no. They even may have tried to let him down easy, but he freaks out. And then she feels like she's physically in danger, or she was physically in danger, or, he harasses her. They just try to avoid trouble like that. So just know that that's where that comes from. It's not a personal attack or a personal vindictiveness. They've learned through experience. And as guys, this is an interesting thing. I've never had a guy tell me how bad he took some girl rejecting him, but it happens all the time. So it's not the kind of thing you're going to hear about, but girls see it all the time. So that's the real deal. You only have to ask a girl out one time. And one of the things that this comes from, and I think guys get misled, is the old school idea. Not a lot has changed. Game is game. Picking up women is picking up women. And not a lot has changed in the last 50 or 100 years, believe it or not. But romantic perseverance, which is where a girl would be in a smaller town or they were more isolated. They might meet maybe 3 or 4 men in her lifetime that were worth marrying, that were worth some type of investment from her. And so the guy that could stick with it, that could always be in front of her, that kept asking her out, that showed that he could stick through thick and thin, that he would be around after she got pregnant, who would be around during the hard times and the good times. That was romantic perseverance. And Grant Cardone, who is a big financial personality, he always tells the story of asking his now wife out 1,000 times or 100 times. And did he really? Probably not. He's a salesman, so he has to have a good story of not giving up on a prospect. Where really good salesmen, and he knows this too, you try to attract the right people and they come into your life and you make the offer once. And then if they don't bite, you tend to move on to the next hot prospect. You don't do a lot of follow-up. Really, believe it or not, you work with yes people. And generally what we want to do is work with yes girls that are excited and motivated and will change things in their life to meet up with you. So romantic perseverance, that idea of our grandparents, the guy just sticking it out time after time after time, is where a lot of this comes from. Forget about it. That's not how it works. That's not how it works when the girl that's in front of you has 5,000 matches in her phone, 20,000, 2 million followers on Instagram. Her phone's always blowing up. There's always a dopamine hit. There's something on Instagram or Facebook or DMs or texting, and her phone is always just lit up. She doesn't need romantic perseverance from you. She needs a offer, and she can either accept it or reject it. And that's the real deal. So one of 3 answers you'll get: hell yes, fuck no, or yes, or I'm sorry, I'm fucking this up, or no, but I can. They'll give you an alternative. So just remember, when you're listening, if they give you an alternative, that's a lot different than my mom needs help. So they'll try to make it as clear as a girl possibly can, that she's not outright rejecting you. She can't then, but she would love to next week. So that's the real deal. You only have to ask a girl out once. Are you not sure? Are you not sure about how she feels about you? Or have you guys been flirting and you're like, man, I don't know what she's really. You can save yourself thousands of man hours by simply becoming more action orientated in this sense. Don't start blowing girls up, but actually take action and ask her out. Say, hey, you want to come meet up with me for a drink on Thursday night? I'm going to this bar at 7. And they'll say yes. They'll say no. Or they'll say no, but I would love to. And they'll give you an alternative. So that's your real answer. And if you feel that that is helpful to you, I have the basic training 1 and 2, the basics of game and dating etiquette, because a lot of this stuff, just like this, it's the basics. You need to lay down a foundation. And guys used to learn this stuff from each other. Like either your dad was a bit of a player, or you'd have an uncle that would like always have a new younger girlfriend and drive your mom nuts because she didn't like your dad getting some strange ideas from your uncle. Or you would have an older player kind of take you under their wing. I had a guy that always took me cruising with him because I was a bit younger. And I was kind of his sidekick to a certain extent. And even though he didn't like show me exactly that you do this, this, and this, watching him work a bunch of girls or a group of girls or a room of women was very enlightening. A lot of times you have to see guys, solid players, working a room of women, picking up women, teasing women, making fun of them, not taking them. You go, oh, this works. Because a lot of guys are scared and intimidated and afraid. And then you start seeing that there's nothing to be afraid of. In fact, girls, when you're fearless around them, because they are children, are turned on by that. They'll chase you. But these things, how to pick up women, how to make a reservation, how to walk down the street, how to set up a date, how to dress, how to take care of yourself, how to pick out a gift. All of these things are the kinds of things that were passed down by word of mouth or through observation that aren't anymore, because it really kind of surprised me when I first got into this, like how many things guys don't know that are very basic. And I had to learn sometimes through observation or trial and error, or somebody took me under their wing and showed me the way, or I found the answer in a book. But we compiled it all. There's 100 in here. Some are short, some are long, some are medium. But basic training, so you cover your base. It just lubricates your life. It makes your dating life that much easier. So that's it. Basic training 1 and 2. You can find it at FortWorthPlayboy.Gumroad. Basic training 1 and 2. And if you can see it in the upper right in the corner up above. But that little book will save you hundreds of man hours and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in trial and error. Go directly to the source. Stop making silly mistakes that could be fixed simply by reading a tip. And it'll make your life easier. Dealing with women is challenging enough. They will make your life challenging. But if you have some basics down, and again, just like when we go in the military, you go to basic training. You need a foundation if you're going to become either a husband or a boyfriend or a prolific womanizer. You need a foundation laid down to build everything else upon that. So lay down a good foundation. That way you can have an interesting, fun lifestyle and romantic life going forward, and sex life. So there's no downside. Hope you guys like this. If you like it, like, share, subscribe. Pick up basic training 1 and 2, the basics of game and dating etiquette. And I will talk to you later.